What do you do when you're the grandson of Darth Vader? You follow in the legacy of him turning to the dark side of the Force and... Wait a minute! I need to fire my writer. Look, I've been telling you for weeks, the guy's name is Rylo Kinn, not Kylo Ren. He's from Canada, not the Mos Eisley Cantina. Get it right next time. Okay, anyway, here is Rylo Kinn, author of The Dragon's Flute. All right. Hey, Rylo, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. It is a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So tell me about what it is that you work on and what you write.
I write dark fantasy, and I'm working on a series called Drakonia, and the first book out is The Dragon's Flute. So book 2 is coming next year.
Very cool. So how'd you get into writing? Was this something that you've always wanted to do, or did it just become kind of a natural progression with from everything else that you've experienced in your life?
Well, I've always done writing, but I never took it serious. And then as I was writing Draconia, it was just a project I had going for fun and hobby. And then I guess I went through a divorce in 2018, and then I decided it was a long, drawn out divorce. So I thought I'd just continue writing. And then I just by doing that, I end up running into other people that inspired me to keep going. And then I met a friend that has her marketing company, and she read it and said, "Let's do something about this. Let's have some fun." So I thought, okay, let's try it out.
It's really cool.
So here we are. Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. And you're a musician as well, right?
That's right. I from a family of musicians way back to great grandpas and grandmas. They all played violin and did all the dances and pianos, and it's just I think I'm the least most musical of them all.
Hey, no worries,
But
man. That's cool because you play guitar, right?
yes, that's right. Play
Yes.
guitar, I sing, yeah, dabble into a bit more of other things, but guitar is my thing.
So obviously, as a writer, you've been inspired by people that you've talked to. I would assume music is a huge inspiration for you. What are some of the other inspirations that you have that feed into your writing and your creativity?
Just travel mostly. Like you say, life experiences, right? You meet so many people over the years, and you're always meeting somebody new with such character that you kind of infuse them into the characters of your stories and stuff. But if I go way back, I'm I think the first movie I ever saw was Star Wars in the theater, right? The New Hope. So my dad took to me, and we had planes, trains, and automobiles to get there, right? Like it was a huge journey back then to get to a theater. And so I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, I believe. And then, yeah, so, and back then it was so entertaining. Like they had people dressed up before the shows, and they'd wander around the theater. And I guess I was running around the corner, and there was Darth Vader. And wow, that just ended me right there. I was like, so yeah, no, I'd have to say George Lucas definitely had a really huge impact. Well, way back then, anyway.
That's really cool.
Yeah, from then on, I think Marvel Comics, Stan Lee pretty much raised me, and until I got into other thicker novels, some Stephen King, Dean Koontz, to just a lot of it. Until then, finally, Lord of the Rings sort of happened, and you got a lot of all that stuff sort of built up. Douglas Adams is another one that I just love to read, and so I'm not 100% inspired by say too many things to do with fantasy as more to fiction and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I know Merlin, all that stuff too is always a fun thing for me too. So
Yeah. So, what was one of the hardest parts or the biggest challenges that you faced in the writing process and the publication process of the Dragon's Flute?
the hardest thing it would be one I was asked to start looking into. Let's do the publishing and stuff. I found that it's not just about writing the book, it's the marketing. The all of a sudden you're open to this whole new world. And I mean, I don't even use social media platforms. I mean, just a little bit, right? And so now I had to get onto Instagram and create all these followers, and won't get bored of your stuff, right? It keeps them coming back and everything. And having to do all that without your book published. So
Right.
you're trying to tell the world that you're a published author, but you have nothing to show.
Yeah, there's a lot of promotional stuff that goes into it, and you have to make it work.
So I say, anybody has ever asked about writing, I say writing a novel is half of it,
Yeah.
and the other half is everything else,
Yeah.
selling it, right?
So
Yeah.
and you mentioned advice, and we're getting ready to wrap up here. So that brings me to my next question. What advice would you give to other would-be authors that are watching this interview? What would you say to them?
I would say never give up, never stop, and just whatever you do, write because you love to write. You're not Don't do it for money or fame, by God, no. Do it because you enjoy doing it, because you're gonna spend all your time doing it. Have no social life, and you're gonna be writing. So if you do not like it,
Don't do it. Yeah.
you're not gonna do well.
So Rylo, how can people get a hold of your book? What's the best way?
I'm available on Amazon and in Kindle. And if you are in Canada, you can find me on Indigo and Chapters and Coles bookstores. It's starting to spread out. So,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, you can find me on Indigo as well.
And you do some local author events as well.
Oh yeah, I am always out and about. I mingle. I've done radio station interviews, tons of podcasts, local stuff. I try to keep with the community. It seems like at first I tried to jump in it all and try to take the world. With social media, you kind of have those tools, but
Yeah.
then you can't, because everybody's got that idea. So I managed to make it more home, and it does spread out, but I focus on home and try to do with the community, and yeah, kind of build my fame that way.
That's
And
awesome.
I say that loosely, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Well, Rylo, thank you very much for joining me on the show. It has been an absolute pleasure for having you.
Hey, thanks for having me on here. You take care, buddy.
You too. If you're interested in picking up copies of Rylo's work or connecting with him through social media, you can find those links down in the video description.